Hello and good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Thursday morning. It is Thursday, November 6th, and it is a foggy start out there. Many locations are already encountering the fog and have encountered it through much of the morning hours. Obviously, as the sun rises, air's going to warm up a little bit and it'll start to mix up a little bit, and we'll look for this fog to thin out fairly quickly, or mix out is... Everybody always talks about the fog lifts. The fog really doesn't lift. It mixes out of the atmosphere. So now in the weather community, if you say that the fog lifts, they're like, actually, that's not right. We get really nerdy about silly stuff, but the fog will go away. Is that fair enough? But it ends fog advisories in effect until 9 a.m. Visibilities are limited across the area. By the way, this morning's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe, West Monroe, faster at any size disaster. Call or click servpro.com for more. Again, visibility is down to near zero in a lot of spots in the southern parishes. Lake Providence is seeing some fog. Again, much of the Mississippi River Valley is probably dealing with it, as is the Red River Valley and a lot of the river valleys. Ouachita River Valley, the Black River. There's a lot of areas that are probably encountering the fog, but the southern parishes and counties have had the biggest headache with it this morning. And again, so exercise caution if you are headed off to work. Give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going. And school zones. I know most of our kiddos are probably getting into school by this point, but if you're out and about, pay attention to those school zones, especially in the foggy conditions. Put down the phone and be extra cautious. Temperatures are in the upper 40s to low 50s. It's pretty nice morning across the area. Janet saying that they did have a little bit of fog in Crossett this morning. I was expecting it to sneak into southern Arkansas, probably not as dense as it is farther southward, but yeah, definitely there and making its presence felt. Ethel, good morning to you as well. Again, it's a cool start to the day. Satellite radar composite is quiet for the time being. Again, there's some morning fog and maybe even some cloud cover that snuck in with the fog. But aside from that, we should still see quite a bit of sunshine through the afternoon. Winds start cranking up out of the south. Matus, good morning to you as well. But those southerly winds could be a little strong at times through the daytime hours today. By tonight, we'll look for the clouds to kind of start rolling back in. Maybe even some areas of fog again tomorrow morning as a weak boundary kind of stalls to our north. It will likely not bring a lot in the way of activity in our region, but focus over into Mississippi where you see those showers and storms trying to fester from the Gulf coastline all the way to the I-20 corridor and I-55 points eastward. Those storms could start a smidge farther westward right along the Mississippi Valley. There will be a brief window of opportunity late morning, early afternoon tomorrow that we could see a thunderstorm in our far eastern counties and parishes. Then the cold front arrives in the area Saturday afternoon. Again, probably a pretty breezy day, especially ahead of the boundary. And then Sunday will be very breezy as the colder air just kind of surges in through the course of the day. There's probably going to be a kind of a secondary boundary late morning on Sunday that really has that much colder air associated with it. Onifia, Vicky, and Alice, good morning to you as well. So the colder air still slated to arrive this weekend, late this weekend into early next week. There is the window of opportunity now. I'm not going to show you futurecast temperatures, but there is a window of opportunity now that we could possibly see 2 mornings near freezing for some areas. I think southern Arkansas into the Mississippi Valley could see the freezing mark twice, Monday morning and Tuesday morning. But for Tuesday morning, almost the entire area has the potential of seeing freezing temperatures. Not everyone will see it, but it's a possibility almost everywhere. Speaking of the storm threat for tomorrow, and as I mentioned, it's kind of one of those how'd that get in there scenarios where we do have a marginal risk level 1 for severe weather potential tomorrow. And I know you're probably scratching your head going, most of the area is not going to see rain. Well, you're right. But where we do see the thunderstorm potential briefly tomorrow, there could be an isolated instance of severe hail. In fact, that's really the only hazard that we're outlooked for and kind of focused in on through the day tomorrow. Do I expect most of these areas to see severe weather? No. In fact, I expect this to be a very brief and very short-lived threat. And in my mind, I think that the threat is quite low, that anybody in our area sees thunderstorms, much less severe weather. Again, as I mentioned, the hail threat is really the only thing that we're highlighted for. It's a less than 2% tornado threat. It's a very, very limited wind threat as well. The only official severe weather outlook is for hail tomorrow along the Mississippi Valley. And again, I'm thinking the prospects of that are quite limited. Forecast rain totals over the next 7 days. I keep showing 7 days to kind of bring you the scope that the next week is still very dry. We have a cold front working its way through the area this weekend. It really doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, and I don't expect us to scour out a lot of rainfall. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook starts to show us that after this cool shot that we deal with early next week, which I think a lot of folks are going to enjoy. It feels like fall across the region. But once we enjoy that shot for a couple of days, we're back on the warming trend. We're back into the 70s as early as maybe Wednesday, Thursday in some locations, and we continue that trend through the rest of next week. I think this is the bigger takeaway. I keep refreshing the drought monitor to see when they release this. It's up. Okay, hang on. We're gonna have to do something very, very on the fly. So I'm gonna put myself full screen. Hello. While I pull the drought monitor, which has just updated. I was just about to wrap up this whole thing. Cool. All right, drought. I have all of these graphics all organized. Okay. Bear with me. I think this just updated along with it. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So I was just showing you this. The precip outlook for 6 to 10 days. Drier than normal. Duh. That's not a big surprise for us. Here's the updated drought monitor. Again, not a big surprise that we're seeing the abnormally dry conditions kind of creeping across the entire region. The lack of rainfall has been something that we've been noting for a while now. Here's the same drought monitor updated and zoomed in. This is another reason why I try to be as flexible as possible with some of our live stream updates, because some data, it doesn't come out at set times, and so it gives me the opportunity to include it instead of having to post something 30 minutes after the fact and go, hey, I know I just bothered you with some weather information, but here's some more. Gives us the opportunity to bring it to you live. So a little bit of breaking news, if you will. I hate that phrase. Anyway, drought monitor shows those conditions sneaking in along the I-20 corridor, just abnormally dry, but the moderate drought conditions expanding across southeastern Arkansas and along the I-49 corridor. Obviously, we need rain. Obviously, we're not expecting any anytime soon. Afternoon highs today in the upper 70s to near 80. A few clouds will linger. The fog's on its way out during the late morning. Winds will be out of the south. Rain chances pretty close to zero. Overnight lows tonight, morning lows, whatever you want to call them, back near 60. Some areas will probably sneak into the upper 50s. Southern Arkansas, I'm looking at you. Mississippi Valley, farther northward, possibility as well. But as you get farther southward, I think the fog and the clouds will be an issue tomorrow morning. In fact, I expect clouds for a good chunk of the area overnight. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10. Look at the 7-day forecast, and again, I've kept the rain chances quite meager for Friday or Saturday, but if you check the Digital Weather Desk app available for Apple and Android users, and you live along the Mississippi Valley, your rain chances are a smidge higher. And so you'll notice for areas like Vicksburg and Natchez and some spots along the Mississippi Valley, especially in the southern counties and parishes, your rain chances are a smidge higher. And if you see a 20% pop up on the app, or at digitalweatherdesk.com, you shouldn't be surprised. Obviously, we trend cooler for Sunday and Monday. Highs in the mid-50s. Charlotte, good morning to you. A lot of areas may struggle to get into the 50s on Monday. And again, I'm looking at folks in southern Arkansas where you may spend a good chunk of the day in the 40s. Morning lows drop to near freezing on Monday. I think there will be a lot of areas north of I-20 that are near freezing on Monday morning, and then most of us will be at or below freezing, perhaps our first freeze of the year for many locations by Tuesday. But again, by Wednesday, we're back in the 70s, and the warming trend is on again. A look at some of the upcoming content for the rest of the day. Too Long didn't read out at 9:30. That's no big surprise. That's when it always comes out. We will not have a midday live today. I'm heading out here in just a little bit to go visit with the kiddos from Ruston Elementary School And we'll have your Thursday football forecast. Sterlington and Ouachita are in action tonight, so those will come out at 2. And then at 8 p.m. we'll have your fish and game forecast as well. I will join you somewhere between now and then with an update on the evening forecast. So probably somewhere between 6 and 8 p.m. tonight, I will join you with a live. It will be a little bit later than normal. So that's what we got going on for the rest of the day. Of course, forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com or on the Digital Weather Desk app, again, available for Apple and Android users. Not a whole lot happening today, so again, I'll join you a little bit later this evening after my school visit. And if your kiddo goes to Ruston Elementary School and he or she comes home today and goes, "Hey, Mom, Dad, some crazy guy talked to us about the weather," that was me. I'm the crazy guy. So looking forward to visiting with them this morning. Of course, like I said, the forecast is always available on digitalweatherdesk.com or on the app. I'll check you later today, and thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great rest of the morning. Exercise caution with the fog out there across the region. Should mix out through the next few hours, and we'll check in with you later today. Thanks for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.